Hello everyone and welcome back to Living Game Studio, a platform dedicated to music, language, career guidance for young people. I am Van, an editor here. While researching and surveying various fields ranging from healthcare, clean energy, and information technology to engineering, in an effort to identify promising career opportunity and map out suitable development paths for young professionals. I focus specifically on the educational requirement for entry-level position. At the same time, I sought to determine how accessible the industry are to newcomers, as well as the typical starting salary within them. During this exploration, I found the work and career path of several individuals employed at data centers. To be honest, at the time I didn't fully grasp exactly what specific tasks they perform inside the facilities. However, the salary is quite attractive and employer typically require applicants to boast nothing more than a high school diploma and a few specialized certifications in electrical engineering. Finally, I decided to go a little bit deeper on LinkedIn, where I eventually managed to invite a young expert to join our program. Someone with 7 years of experience working as a data center operation technician at a facility in the United States. Today, I'm honored to introduce him to you. He will be sharing insight into his work and his personal career journey. Please join me in welcome Leo to Living Game Studio. Good evening, Leo. I believe I already given our audience a brief overview of your work. Now let's dive into the main parts of our conversation. Just hearing your job title, tell me that you are a technician working as a data center. Could you share a little bit about your day-to-day responsibilities?
The first thing I do is a physical walkthrough of the data halls. I'm looking, listening, and even smelling trouble. Checking for amber lights on server chassis or storage arrays. Listening to high-pitched fan whining, bearing failure, or unusual humming from the CRC, computer room air conditioning, units. Feeling for hot spots in the cold aisles that might indicate a blocked perforated floor tile or a failed containment barrier. And more assignments such as physical layer deployment, critical infrastructure monitoring, troubleshooting, and capacity planning.
In my opinion, when working with electricity, safety is the top priority for workers. In your line of work, how do you assess safety training course? Additionally, what recommendation do you have regarding safety measure for beginner working in the field?
First training is an arc flash training. This is the industry standard for electrical safety in the workplace. It teaches us how to identify hazards, use PPE, personal protective equipment, and establish boundaries so someone doesn't accidentally wander into a high voltage zone. Second is training based on OSHA certification, which is general workplace safety training covering everything from ladder safety to lockout tagout, LOTO. Every time we touch a piece of gear, we follow a method of procedure. This is a step-by-step script that has been reviewed by senior engineers to ensure we don't trip a breaker or shock ourselves. And stop if you're unsure. In a data center, I don't know is a perfectly safe answer. It is much better to delay a project by an hour than to cause a multi-million-dollar outage or an injury.
Could you briefly define what a data center is? I heard that major tech companies are building numerous data centers all over the world, perhaps even underwater or atop mountains. Could you share a bit about the operation process involved in running a data center?
A data center is a specialized, secure facility that houses the centralized IT infrastructure, servers, storage systems, and networking gear required to run the applications and data we use every day. Think of it as the physical brain of the internet. Why everywhere? Mountains, sea, and beyond? Big tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon build them in exotic locations, primarily to solve the two biggest challenges of data center operation: cooling and latency. Projects like Microsoft's Natick submerge data centers in the ocean to use the cold seawater for cooling, which is significantly cheaper than running massive air conditioners. Building in places like Iceland or the Arctic allows for free cooling, where we simply pump in the freezing outside air to keep the servers from melting. We build them close to users to reduce latency, the delay in data travel. If you are in Tokyo, your data shouldn't have to travel to New York and back just for you to watch a video.
Now let's talk a bit about the salary. Is the pay rate good?
The pay rate for a data center technician is generally considered strong, especially because it offers a high return on investment. You can often get an entry-level role with a technical certification or an associate's degree, rather than a full 4-year degree. The best part about this career path is how clearly you can increase your value. Technicians who earn some other certifications, such as specialized networking, fiber optics, critical facilities, move into higher pay brackets quickly. For me, my expertise is a security networking.
How long does it take to become a technician like you?
The timeline to become a data center technician is actually one of the fastest path to paycheck routes in the tech world. You don't need a 4-year degree to get your foot in the door. While you can get the job in 6 months, it usually takes about 1 year on the floor to truly feel comfortable. There is a nerves factor when you realize that pulling the wrong cable could shut down a banking app or a government website. That confidence only comes with time. The secret skill is documentation. If you do work and don't write it down, in the data center world, it didn't happen. Being able to write a clear, concise email or update a ticket so the next shift knows exactly what you did is what gets you promoted.
For beginners, specifically recent high school graduates who have not yet identified a specific career path, what skill do you consider most important for working in this field as a technician?
If you are just finishing high school and looking at this career, the most important skill isn't actually knowing how to code or how to fix a complex circuit. It is situational awareness. In a data center, the stakes are incredibly high. A single mistake, like bumping a power cable or dropping a screw onto a live motherboard, can take down a bank or a hospital's records.
Are there many women who work in this field?
To be honest, the data center floor has historically been a bit of a boys' club, but that is changing rapidly. While women are still a minority in the field, they are becoming a much more common and vital part of the workforce. Currently, women make up about 10% to 20% of the hands-on operations workforce in data centers. While this is lower than the broader tech sector, which is closer to 28 to 35%, the gap is narrowing as big companies like Google, AWS, and Microsoft push for much more diverse hiring.
Tell me about the opportunities for growth and advancement.
The chances for development in this field are currently exploding. Because of the massive demand for artificial intelligence and cloud services, data centers are being built at a record pace. As a technician, you aren't just in a job. You are at the start of a multi-level career ladder. After a few years, many technicians realize they like one specific part of the job and specialize in it. These roles often pay much higher. For me, after 5 years working at a data center, I move on to network engineer, which focus entirely on the brains of the center, configuring switches, routers, and high-speed fiber links. I can tell. There is a massive talent shortage. Because the industry is growing faster than schools can graduate students, companies are often willing to pay for your certifications and training while you work. So, the ceiling in this field is very high. You can start by carrying a box in high school and end up as a director of infrastructure, making $200,000 plus a year if you keep collecting certifications.
After all these years working in data centers, have you ever felt burnt out and want to switch to different field, one that offer more challenge and excitement?
Burnout is real in this field. Working in a data center can feel like being on a submarine. It's windowless, the hum of the fans is constant, and the pressure of knowing one mistake could cause a severity outage is heavy. Tip to overcome are: seek the sunlight break. It sounds simple, but data center tan, the pale look from being under LEDs all day, is a real thing. Successful techs make it a rule to leave the building during their lunch break. Getting 20 minutes of natural light and fresh air is a system reboot for your mental health. When a tech feels tired, they remind themselves that the server they just fixed might be the one handling a life-saving medical database or a video call between a soldier and their family. It's about remembering that we aren't just moving boxes. We are keeping the modern world's heart beating. Burnout often comes from feeling stuck. Technicians overcome this by picking a new skill to master, like learning Python for automation or studying for a cloud architecture cert. Having a goal outside of your daily chores makes the daily chores feel like a stepping stone rather than a dead end.
I have learned more about your job and its high demand. Now let's move on to the fun part of the meeting today. I had a music library. Every time you key in a keyword, it will come out a song to listen. If I ask you to describe your job in a few words, what would you say?
Cooling them down.
Okay, I will enter cooling them down in the search bar and here a result. Leo, thank you for coming tonight. I wish you a good night.
Gautam.
Let's bike to the hill today.
Okay, iced tea and bread are ready.
Let's go. Up to the hill?
Look, Gautam. The data centers are on top of the hill.
I see tent men every day walk to those centers to work.
What do they do, Gautam?
Maintain the centers, make them cool, prevent overheat.
Take some iced tea. I am also overheat.
Today, data centers are golden mine of internet. Technologies are based much on data centers. Many jobs have been created if more data centers built.
I am also want to work in those data center after graduating the school.
It is almost sunset, Gautam.
Look, moon appears the far. I carry the idea if there are data centers on the moon.
It is possible. Moon's temperature is super cold. It is an ideal place to build data centers.
All right. When you get to the moon, take some hot tea with you.
Let's go!
Coming.
You're listening to Career for Youth, a production of Living Game Studio. I hope you find this content useful and interesting. This episode is made by Van and Artificial Intelligence.